think wherever you go, they're pretty much going to learn how to read, how to write, how to do maths, which is very basic stuff, which that's all I believe. I think, from then on in, we've got our own mind. We move on to whatever we want to learn or move forward. How many people go through school and actually use what they've learned in primary school, apart from reading or writing, in the industry that they get involved in? Not much. Has Henry VIII ever been brought up to you? Did you get taught him in school?
Yeah.
You did. Okay then. I don't even know some math sums what they have on a board. I couldn't even tell you what they look like. But have you ever come up against a math sign where you've got to do 5 squared?
Simultaneous equations? No, I never used it
No, we
before.
haven't. No, exactly. This is what I'm saying. So we learn to read and write. We learn to do maths, and that's what does set us up for the entrepreneurial world. However, it is hard out there. It's very hard to earn money. Very hard to set up a business. But the things, I'm not saying don't do it, but it's hard. It's not that. You genuinely face failure after failure after failure, and then boom, you have some success. And then you go failure, 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 boom, success, because you're adding experience up after all your failures, putting that to good use, and now it's paying off. Because when you're approaching something after you've failed so many times, you're not just turning up as somebody who's failed. You're turning up with somebody who's got 10 times the experience now. So that's why I think persistence is also very good. But go on.
Tell us a little bit about, well, I want a prediction from you now. You said the UK is not going in a good way.
It's not that I'm not saying it's going in a good way. I just disagree. I think that the tax is extortionate here in the UK, and they don't support businesses, and they're not pushing for entrepreneurs. That's all I say. Our schools are not set up to make entrepreneurs. Do you understand where I'm coming from? And what you were saying about the best of educations, I never come round to telling you, but the best thing about putting your kid into a private school is not the education they're going to get. It's the network of children that are in that school who are going to grow up, because their mums and dads are going to be pushing their children, i.e. to be doctors, lawyers, solicitors, all people that will become very useful further down your life. Now, I'm not saying you have to make best friends with everybody, but my theory behind being successful is to make yourself successful, make yourself want to be known by people, make yourself useful, and make yourself valuable. So then you can attract people that are useful and valuable. And then that partnership, you don't have to be best friends, but you must know, right, yeah, I know he can do that, and I know he can do that. We could swap favours, and that helps you an awful lot going along life. Now, I'd like to say friends, but I'm sure you've got somebody you stay in touch with. Now, you haven't got to lie to me, or you can, but I'm sure you've got someone that you stay in touch with that's not your friend. You'll hear their bullshit because what they can do for you. And they probably do the same for you.
Probably, yeah.
And that's why I believe that we should make ourselves valuable, like experts in our field. That's what you should aim towards.
And that's also an art as well, to hold on to a person in your network. You're like, I didn't like what you said, but I do need to get
You're
this
useful.
thing done.
I can't fall out with you over that.
Yeah.
You're worth too much.
It's true. But but some people will just, oh, fuck off, I don't give a shit. And the next minute, later on, they hit a hurdle and they're like, oh, I needed him.
You can, I value my pride an awful lot, and there's nothing that I would exchange my pride for. But a lot of things we get arguing about is pretty much usually who's right and wrong. And I'm happy to wipe my mouth and agree that I'm wrong if someone's a value. If they're not a value, then why would you hang them around? Why would you have somebody that, if you're trying to be successful, pretty much anybody that is not helping, push you forward, giving you praise, all the negativity has got to go. Because the thing is, you're facing negativity anyway. You don't need someone to come and tell you, oh, this could be bad, or, oh, I don't think that's going to work. No one's done it before. You need, do you know what? No one has done it before, but let me tell you something. You're different. That could be the difference to making success or not. One person saying that to you. Or it could be the difference of not doing it. I'm thinking, no, I can't do it because someone said to you, no, you can't do it. There's so many times I believe I've heard people have conversations and say good ideas, and I'm looking thinking, do you know what, that is a good idea. Someone's looked up and said to them, nah, I don't think that'll work, and I never ever did do it.
Is there one piece of advice that you remember from anyone in your family, just that one thing that stuck that made you have that belief that I can do this?
Is there anything that got said to me that made me believe that I can do this? To be honest, seeing me dad do it give me a lot of could give me a lot of motivation. And on top of that, you know, even when I was a kid, as far back as I can remember our daddy's boys, this, that, the other, and it never really got under my skin, and it never bothered me. However, at the same time, I still did kind of want to prove them wrong, because when people are saying that, and it's not true, it doesn't get under your skin. If someone said it and it was true, I'm sure it would offend me a lot more than it does. So probably I've pushed a lot more, maybe for that reason.
Yeah.
And also, like I say, seeing me dad do it, my dad's done extremely well. And you know, what are we here for? This life's a test. We enjoy earning money. It's the family that I got brought into, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
I got told a piece of advice, like, you know, I invest a little bit in property as well. And it's like, hey, I think I should buy this. And somebody else goes, hey, look, stop, take a step back. Why is that person selling this? Where are they going? Where are they buying? And for example, I was told a little while ago, you don't want to be buying commercial property. It's like, why not? And they go, well, shops are closing, everything's going online. These are going to be empty soon and stuff. So I'm always looking at people ahead of me. And so, like, if I'm a millionaire, you're a multi-millionaire, your dad's a billionaire, I'm looking at you guys and I've already seen your dad leave the UK. And that tells me, should I still be in the UK? Should I be living here? Has this got enough opportunities? You know, what's keeping me here? The weather? You know, more taxes? Like, is there another place that I could be looking at? And, you know, recently Dubai's come to mind for me. But I've heard your dad's gone to Monaco. Where do you see yourself in the next decade or 2 decades?
I really like Dubai, and the reason I like Dubai is because they're entrepreneurial backing. They're pushing entrepreneurs. You want to go and set up a business, they'll help you. You want to buy a property, they'll help you. The answer is never usually no. It's always yeah. We will help. You know, and that's what I love about the country. It's run by entrepreneurs.
I heard that the king runs his country like a business.
And how successful is it? How great is it actually doing? Like, it's
booming.
There is no words I could possibly put to exaggerate. If we was on this podcast 20 years ago and someone mentioned that there was a city being built, you couldn't even imagine it to be as good as Dubai. And that's what happens when businessmen and entrepreneurs run countries. Religious businessmen and entrepreneurs. Very clever men.
Yes. Talk to me a little bit about, because I've been in property over 20 years, but I've never even considered or looked at a mobile home park. Tell me how these things work, because all I know about it is a piece of land that you lease and put a mobile home on there. Is that as easy as it is?
No. So a mobile home. So there's different kinds. So you've got Gypsy and Traveller mobile home parks. You've got holiday mobile home parks, and you've got residential mobile home parks. I own two semi-retired and fully retired residential mobile home parks, so they can live there all year round, 365 days of the year. They buy the home off of me, put it on my site. They own everything above the ground. We own everything below the ground. So the base is our responsibility. They have their garden and all that sort of stuff, but the base is our responsibility. We put the mobile home on there. Every month they have to pay us ground rent and service fees, and they own that home and that plot of land until they're ready to sell it.
Right. Okay. So how much do they have to pay you, like, in ground rent?
Well, it depends on the size of the. It depends on the size of the unit. It depends where they are in the country, but it can vary from £200 to £500 a month.
Okay, and that's where you're collecting it from every single plot
Every resident, yeah.
And so ultimately, you're buying a piece of land.
Yes.
So that's what you're investing in. So how does, like, planning permissions and regulation come into it, in terms of, hey, you're not allowed to build on this land, or if it's green belt or any of them sort of things, that, like, if somebody was thinking, or maybe I'm going to buy one of these, what do they need to look out for?
Well, first of all, to get planning permission for a mobile home park is the same as planning for